Now let's take a look at some productivity tools inside of SOLIDWORKS for drawings. The first one we're going to talk about is layers and drawings. So I have this drawing here, and off to the right you can see I've added these layers, or notes to go on layers, mainly because I have English, I have Spanish, and I have Chinese, and I probably don't want my drawing to have all three. So if you right click in the command manager, you can add the layer toolbar. You can specify new layers and specify if they're visible or if they have different colors. So I'm going to add just a few. Now once I select a note, I can choose what layer it belongs to. So I can choose this is the English one, we have Spanish, and then I have Chinese. Now if I drag these onto my document, say I'm just going to roughly drag them all about the same, where it makes sense or looks sort of nice. You can see I need to move a view. I can come into my layer manager now and turn off languages that I don't want to see. And now I have my Spanish notes on my drawing. And all I would have to do to change my notes would be to deselect the language I want to remove and select the one I want to add, allowing me to have multiple languages of these notes all in the same sheet. So now with that done, I just want to talk about a couple other things. So in our other document here, we have a bill of material page. By default, it'll have the same font and size specified for the entire document, but that can be changed. So if you click in the upper left-hand corner of the BOM, this first icon is Use Document Font. If you uncheck this, it's going to allow you to specify the font, size, and bold, italic styling you want to add for this bill of materials or for a selected item. This is going to let you change this, say if your items are overrunning your bill of materials, or if you want to condense some of the content there. Once your bill of material is looking like you want it to, you can right-click just about anywhere in the bill of material and choose Save As. You can specify an Excel document, or CSV for another application, or just a text file. And this is going to let you save this out and open this inside of any application like. We're going to use Excel. So once I save it out, I can jump over to Excel and I can open up my document. And here it is in exactly the same order. Looks very similar to the document I had inside of SOLIDWORKS. This is helpful if you want to export this and send this to purchasing or send this anywhere for approval. You don't need to send them necessarily the whole model. If they just need to see the bill of materials, you can send that separate from the model. Another important aspect of our SOLIDWORKS files are our custom properties. Now, custom properties are attributes about our file that we want to save. Now, these could be description, comments, authors, maybe who checked the file, maybe material even. Now, these are, data points I want to save about my document, but I don't want to denote them in my document. This allows us to save data to our SOLIDWORKS file. So anytime you open it, you can review that information. Now, opening the custom properties inside of SOLIDWORKS and manually remembering what to name things and going through and filling out that table can be kind of painful. Fortunately, we have a really easy user interface tool to create a custom UI to assign those, properties. So we're going to go through, create a really simple UI right now, help you get that set up. So in the custom properties window here at the right, you can choose Create Now, since I don't have a custom properties template already created. This will load the property tab builder. On the left, we have available tools. On the center is the UI VLC, and on the right is the attributes. We're just going to really quickly do a drawing, drop in a text box, call that part number, and say part no. Perfect. We can also drop in a list box real quick and say drafter. And we'll link that to author, and we'll put in Josh, John, Cody. And we'll save this out. This is going to go in a custom properties folder. We'll hit save, and we'll close out of the window. Now, you have to refresh the page since we just created one. Now we have our custom properties window where we can go in and enter our part number, 1, 2, 3, and we can choose our drafter. So it's going to be me, and I can say apply. Now if we access the custom properties about this file, we can see we have these new items, part number and author, that are going to follow this part with it until they're changed, edited, or until we no longer have the part file. So the next thing we want to talk about is the sheet format. So I'm going to jump back to the front sheet. Anytime we want to display things on our title blocks, we can link those to the existing properties in our file, and we do that using this command, link to property. Now this is an easy way to create a title that is tied to the name of our file. As we can see, this is already tied to description. After you've made any changes to your title block and you want to save them, make sure you exit your title block, and you not only save your drawing template, but you also come up here and save the sheet format. That is actually the display that you see when you're editing. Anything in this window is your sheet format, and this is what you're trying to save with that option. Now another thing we can do while we're in here is we can create watermarks. So if I'm in my sheet format and I say watermark, I can make this quite a bit larger maybe. Oh. And so I have my watermark here now. Maybe I want to put it off at an angle. And now I can also put it behind the sheet. So if I come in here real quick, that's perfect, and leave that like that, I'll have my watermark. Now, when I return to my drawing, you'll see that the watermark itself is actually behind my object. If I want that traditional gray watermark, I could do that as well. This is just an easy way to add those to your drawings. You can also tie these to the custom properties. So if you have a custom property that is a watermark, you could go in and clear it without physically removing it from the model. So another thing we need to talk about now is how to check your drawings and how to take your drawings and get them out onto the shop floor. So companies will like to define standards for their drawings. Makes total sense. Uniformity. I totally understand. So we have some tools to do that, and the most important one is called the design checker. So if we open up Evaluate and choose Check Active Document, this will load the design checker. Now I can choose the standards in which to define or to check against. I'm going to use a standard Ansi design check, but you can specify any type of standard to check against. So if I choose Check Document, it'll run through all of the pages in my document and specify any violation to my standard that I have incurred. So we can see that I have a balloon failure here, an annotation. Ooh, quite a few annotations are out of standard. Now, you can choose autocorrect, or in this case, I'm just going to ignore these. But this is an easy way to be warned about the severity of your infraction as well. So we can see all of these are orange. There's red, yellow, so you can understand, is this something I really actually need to fix, or is this something that I can just live with for now? So now that we've created and checked our drawing, it's time to get our drawing out to the shop floor, and probably as a PDF. Now, if I'm doing one drawing, no big deal. I can file, save as, typically create a PDF from a drawing. What if I have 10 or 20 or 50 or 100 or some large number of drawings? That sounds like a very tedious task. And so what I'm going to use is called the Task Scheduler. Now, the Task Scheduler is only in SOLIDWORKS Professional and Premium. If you have Standard, you won't see this tool. So if I open up the Task Scheduler, I have a lot of different options. What I'm going to do is export files. I can choose PDF, and I can specify if I have a single file I want to add, if I want to have a folder and it convert all the files in there. And then I specify where I want to run this, or when I want to run this. So I can specify where to put it, so same as original file or in a specified folder. And then, do I run this once? Do I run this weekly? And when do I want to run this? Once I hit finish, it'll create a task, and it would convert my files in that location to a PDF. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is when drawings get really big. Now, obviously my model here isn't huge, but if I had a drawing for an F-14 Tomcat or a car, like these are massive objects, and so resolving them would be kind of challenging. So there is something really handy built into drawings. It's called a detached drawing. So detached drawings are drawings that are separate from the model, meaning I can't make a new view or I can't bring in model items, but if I want to do dimensioning or put notes in or things of this nature, I can do this without loading and resolving the model. So to create a detached drawing, it's pretty simple. It's just a standard process of File, Save As, but in your drawing dropdown, you have a detached drawing option. So if you choose this and save this drawing, the drawing that gets saved will be detached from the model, allowing you to edit it without resolving the model. Thank you for watching the last segment of our Tech Showcase Tips and Tricks for Drawings. If you want to see the previous segment on creating and editing annotations, click over here. And if you want to catch the first segment on advanced techniques for creating views, click over here.